Grandma,
Yes,
how
darling.
you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic.
God bless you.
I'm glad to be here with you
here
again.
with you again.
I gotta say, our last conversation, I enjoyed it so much.
I did.
So I had been wanting to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was so much that I learned just in that quick little hour that I'm like, we gotta do more.
We got to do more.
So
Because there's more to be said.
yeah.
It's more to be said. It's just not just that one at a time.
Right.
You know, you have to grow up to it. You know what I mean? You're growing up to it. So it was more to be said. I guess I told you about when I was a child, we lived in Ozark, and I told you about the tub and the chicken coop and all of that.
It's so funny because a lot of times, like I forget
Right.
like 13, when you said 1939, I was like, man, so when you were telling me about the outhouse and getting the water from outside, my experience with, as I've grown through life, okay, I've seen the cell phone come, I done seen beepers, this and that, the cell phone. You've literally gone through like using the bathroom outside. To indoor plumbing. So I was thinking, I was like, I believe that's why some of the reasons your generation has a different appreciation for everything.
Right.
And even after that, I posted a clip about that, and I was talking to somebody. I was like our generation throw away a lot of stuff. We just, I just buy some more, like pans. Jeans.
Yeah.
I remember you sewing stuff. Like you would sew something up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, exactly.
And reusing grease. You know,
you have to save that.
Right. I remember you used to have like 3 different jars on. I was like, why we got this grease? You had like
the grease for the fish.
Right.
You have the grease to cook the egg and all that other stuff, the fat. And you have grease for, you know, just cooking little dinner to pour in your pot for your collard greens or something like that to mix it up. Yeah, right.
And so like when you were telling me all of that, I was like, I can now understand why your generation has a different appreciation for everything. And as the generations have gone, we just throw stuff away so quick. We don't even fix something. Oh, this broke, I'm gonna get.
And don't even think about it.
Right.
It was just like I had told my granddaughter today that I have her graduation gown. I have her cousin graduation gown. And I also have her baby, her son, which is 14 now.
Yeah.
His graduation gown.
You keep everything.
And I said, well, you will have to take that and it going to you.
Yeah.
And she said, well, Grandma, she said, because you keep everything. And which I do. I could go in right now and find some stuff that they wouldn't even know that I still have.
Right.
But that's the way the grandma was. That's just like when my daughter was growing up, and then she went up in the attic and she seen where I had something belongs to them ever since she was a baby, a child, because I had, you know, all my children dressed alike.
Right.
And I had that up there, and she didn't believe I had that up there.
Yeah.
But that's the way grandparents do. They save stuff.
You do. And like I said, that's one of the things that I'm like, I can tell the difference between the generations and how we hold on to things and how we don't throw stuff out and we give it a different chance.
Right.
But what's interesting to me is I feel like, you know, the finances and everything are a little bit different these days, and you know, most people might be struggling a little bit, but at the same time, we still just throw stuff out, and we don't.
And you don't think about it.
Like, you know,
you don't think about it.
Again, ripped jeans. We're not throwing ripped jeans away. You might go sew them up.
Dad, go and get a needle and a thread and sew them up.
I don't even think most people know how to sew anymore.
No, no, they don't.
I can do a little bit, but
no,
you know.
They don't know how to sew. All of that is the generation back, way back. We used to sew up our socks and stuff. When we get a hole in it, sew it up. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely throwing away socks when they get a hole in it. Come on, like I hate socks with a hole in it.
But you sew it up.
Yeah.
You sew it up back in them days because things was hard to get to.
Right.
And we had to do all of that. But now you don't have to do that. Y'all could go and just buy whatever y'all want to buy.
Right.
So like how y'all buy them jeans already cut up.
I got a pair too.
All the way cut up. All you got to do is get some more jeans and cut them up yourself.
Be done left them at your house. You be like, here, baby, I fixed your jeans. You're like, Grandma, they were supposed to be like this. But I think it's a lot to be said to how how y'all made things work, and you were resourceful.
Exactly.
And
right.
it wasn't, like I'm like that with cars. I'm like, yeah, like get another car. I'm like, I'm not buying another car. We finna fix it until it can't be fixed anymore.
Well, back in the days, the grandmama, my grandmother, always, taught us how we supposed to have stuff,
right,
and sit and fix stuff, and that's where we growed up from that.
Right.
We couldn't help them. That's the way we growed up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it got watered down over the generation.
Yeah.
As we do better, and we're like, oh, we don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I'm gonna even tell you, because I never used to understand, even when you would cook fried chicken, your fried chicken is good. But I was like, why come grandma fried chicken darker than KFC fried chicken? And I didn't know it's because you was reusing that grease.
You didn't know.
But yeah. Right. But it was still good. It was good. It's stuff like that where, people just, we just throw away grease.
But now you could tell, because grease got different. Everything is different now. Now you can't fry stuff over and over and over in the grease, right? Because it get old and everything start turning brown, right? So you just throw that out and get some fresh, right? But back in the days, it was different kind of grease. It was what? I forgot the name of it.
Lard? Crisco, yeah.
Lard and stuff like that.
Yeah. All that stuff that'll kill you.
Yeah, that'll kill you. But it'll kill you now, but it didn't kill us before.
You're right.
It didn't kill us before, but it would kill you now if you try to eat too much.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you've lived through the civil rights movement.
Right.
Now, I only know of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King through what I've learned in school and what we see on the movies and how they were portrayed.
Right.
What did Martin Luther King represent to you, and how was that living through the time frame that he was alive?
It was while he was alive, it was good. And a lot of people didn't understand. He wasn't a violent man. He was not a violent man, and I went along with that because every time they have, like we start having things, on a certain day and stuff, I always prayed that nothing didn't happen on that day, on his birthday, or something like that, because he was an unviolent man. Right. He wasn't for all of that, but eventually, later on that afternoon or something, then you'll hear about somebody got killed.
Like on the Martin Luther King parade on 9th Street all the time.
And that's, I believe in people having fun. Right. But going killing somebody, no. Yeah. I don't believe in that. Yeah. And you breaking his, what he fought for.
Right. Having peace and everything.
Having peace. He even died for that. Right. You know what I mean? Having peace, but and then it's always somebody else got different mind. Right.
I feel how was it having, like, in the black community, at least in St. Pete, from what you know of, having a black leader at that time? Because I feel like today we don't have black leaders that all of us just kind of look up to, but
no, we don't.
What was the black community like in that time frame?
Back in the days, we really, before Martin Luther King came along, we really just went from day to day. It wasn't, until he came along, and Michael X and all that was way back there. Right. But I didn't. School teachers, my mom and everything tried to tell us about it, but I guess our mind was on schooling or whatever. But it was good. It was good. We learned to deal with whatever we had to go through. Whatever my mom, my dad, my grandparents tell us, that's what we had to go through. But it was nice. My grandma used to, when I was a child, my grandma used to take me wherever she went. And she always went down to Miami.
Really?
We went there. She took me to Miami. We get on the bus. We go to Miami. She had a foster brother down there.
Okay.
And he was white.
Really?
He was white.
So hold on. I gotta. We gonna come right back to that because I remember my great grandma was really light skinned.
Yeah.
Was your grandmother mixed?
Yeah, my grandma was the Indian.
Oh, okay.
Part Indian.
So she had this white.
She had a white brother. And we go down to Miami, and we go to visit him, and he showed us just like we was one of them.
Right.
But I remember all of this. My sister didn't never go.
Okay.
But I did.
Okay.
And my grandmama, his name is Stephanie. His name was Stephen. His name was Stephen. And he was the sweetest person that I ever had. That was like my uncle to me. And we go down there, we come on back home, and my grandmama, she was light skinned.
Right.
She was part Indian. She had like her, white, had little white in her, Indian, whatever. But that's the way we was raised. And it was good.
Right.
We didn't never see we just was living. Just living. That's all.
So did you feel that you ever experienced, growing up, any racism that stuck out in your head, or was it just kind of so much of the normal that you just didn't?
It was just normal. It was normal because we had this is what we had to do. This is what we had to do when we was coming up. We knew what we had to do. We didn't mind, we probably mind it, but we didn't have what other choice that we had.
Right.
We didn't have no other choice. We didn't have no other choice. So my parents and my grandparents learned us, me and my sister and brother, learned us to get along with everybody. And that's what we learned to do, because after I found out that I had a white brother, uncle, hey, that's the way we was raised.
Right.
So we just have to go along with the picture.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
I remember going to Reverend Adam Nursery off of 9th Street, 9th Avenue, and between 16th Street and 8th Street. And that place is right there right now.
It's still there?
It's a nursery. And that's where my sister every morning had to take me and drop me off to the nursery. And she goes on to the school.
How much older are your sister?
My sister was, 3 years older than I was.
Oh, okay.
She was 3 years older, but when we was living in Ozark Coast, my sister had to walk with me to that school and then come back, and then she go to school. She went to Jordan Park. It was Jordan Park then. And she went to Jordan Park, and she'll drop me off to Mike Adams School, and then she go on to school.
Okay.
And my mother had us walking to school and coming back home. She'll pick me up and everything.
Okay.
But that's the way we had to do to live.
So it was always safe for y'all.
It was always safe.
So I don't know if you noticed, like when I was like 16, you remember that old Dodge Colt that I used to have?
Oh, yeah.
So one time I had met this girl. I was going to Tarpon Springs to see her.
Right.
Me and my friend, we leaving Tarpon Springs at like 1, 2 in the morning one time.
In the morning.
I don't know if I ever told you. I got pulled over for speeding.
Oh my God.
Air quotes, because I wasn't speeding. I found this out later. But the first time I ever seen a gun was when like 6 of these white cops pulled me and my friend over, and they had guns pulled at us at Tarpon Springs. I ever told you that story?
No, you never have.
I was terrified, Grandma. I was terrified.
I know you were.
So that's why I asked you some of this stuff, because I'm like, man, if this is some things that I went through, I wonder what it was like growing up for you.
Well, we never did go through.
Because y'all stayed in y'all community.
We stayed in our community.
That's how crazy stuff.
And that was it. And that was around 22nd Avenue, 22nd Street,
right?
Ozark Code, and Jordan Park. That's where we stayed at. We stayed in our community. But we went to, when I started growing up, got a little older, that I could go to Manhattan Casino and stuff.
Right.
To where all the singers came.
Right.
I seen BB King. I seen all of them, and they came to Manhattan Casino in St. Petersburg. So we didn't have all of that.
Right.
We didn't, but we know to stay in our lane.
In your lane. See, and I think sometimes with racism, when it was like so clear cut, it made like, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, and this is what
right. And even then, like sometimes I feel like it made us. It's gonna sound crazy, they're better people because we knew you had to work harder. Sometimes with the lines being blurred and you don't know who's racist or not. Now you're like, oh no, we equal. And it's like, are we really though?
No, that you never get equal.
Right.
You never get equal.
We hope for equality.
We hope for. We pray for it.
Right.
And little by little, little by little. I might not live to see it, but little by little, we getting there.
Right.
But God will come. You know what I mean? But you just have to live with it. You smile, you keep on going.
Yeah.
God, to what people say to you, you smile it off.
Back to Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
So how was the community after when y'all found out he got assassinated?
Oh, everybody was sad. Talking about it. Everybody was sad. That happened to him. Everybody was sad. We all was sad. Even going to school, we was sad, because it was tragic. Right. It was tragic, and knowing that this man wasn't about no violence, but that's the way other people seen that, he was stepping on their toes and everything, so keeping away violence. So it was sad. Yeah. It was very sad. I think when he died.
Yeah, and I sometimes I feel like right now as a people, I don't know. I don't feel as though we have that black leadership anymore. Yeah. Like I feel like there was always eras where there was a black leader. You had Malcolm X. You had who was opposite of Martin Luther King, but now it's just
I don't even know. I don't got old now. But I don't even know who is the black
That's
leader.
what I'm saying. You don't really have. You got somebody named Dr. Umar, but
who is that? I don't even know who he is.
That's what I'm saying though. There's no head. There's no. I think there was always.
There's nobody that come forward and letting you know that I'm here. Yeah. And back you up. Yeah. Just like what is that? What is that?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. AACP?
Yeah. You don't even hear about them.
Yeah. But again, I think...
But they there.
I think that's because the lines have been blurred and we feel like, oh no, everything, but until stuff rise back up.
Rise and then there they is.
Right.
But you just don't hear like it was when Martin Luther King and Michael X was out there.
Right, yeah. And when you first seen Obama and a black president, how was it? Because I'm sure you probably never thought you'd see that in your life.
No, I didn't.
How was that, seeing a black president?
It was a happy moment. It was something happy because we never thought we would ever see something like that. You know what I mean? A president, a black president, that was a happy moment for everybody because we never did thought that we would have something like that. Right. So we was happy and knowing that our president is back. Things gonna go change for the black, but it did change a little, but it still went on. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, it went on.
I always feel like, they're gonna open the door a little bit, let you in. They weren't gonna let you change too much.
No, you didn't let you change too much.
There's a whole lot of arguments and debates over that, what he could have done and all this.
But he did what he did just like any other president do. You know what I mean? He did do like any other president. And I'm glad that I lived to see it. Right. I might not live to see now another one get up there, but I live to see that one. Right. And
we almost had Kamala.
Almost. Yeah. But I think she still would have won.
Yeah.
She still would have won. But I ain't gonna say too much. I can't say too much now. You can't. Can't say too much about that.
I know how they get.
Yeah.
Right, you want to know something? When I was growing up, I think it was like one drive-in movie theater still left. I could not wait to get old enough to drive my own car to a drive-in movie theater.
drive-in movie.
And then there was no drive-in movie theater.
Right.
You used to go to the drive-in movie theaters?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was one on 28th Street. And one over there off of like you're going to Bay Pie. It was one over there.
Yeah.
Where that shopping center there. It was one there. I know a lot of movie stars that came from St. Pete at the project that went to the movie. It was just like oh my gosh. The one that played Tina.
Oh yeah. Angela Bassett.
She's from St.
Yeah, I knew about that one. Yep.
She used to be to the Royal Theater.
All the time, yeah.
She used to be the Royal Theater, and she started out ballet.
Doing ballet?
Ballet.
Huh.
Yeah. She started out doing that, and from there she in the movies.
That's fascinating.
So we know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that came from St. Pete, from the project, and went to the movie.
Right.
It was just like JJ. You remember JJ?
Good. Ooh.
That's an old movie. JJ. Oh Lord. It was just like one man that played in that movie. He was from St. Pete. So I've been around to see.
Yeah, a lot of different. Yeah.
And I enjoy seeing them because they got headway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They made,
Yeah, made headlines.
You ever use one of them phones that you had to hold like this?
Oh yeah, my grandmama had one in there. You had to
crank the phone?
to crank it up.
That's crazy.
My grandmama had one of those. We had one in our house. And it was good. We had to crank it up and call people.
You had, but did you have to talk to the operator? Yeah. And so you had to, hey, give me Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, we had to talk to them. But it was good. And then later on we got where we didn't have to do this. We had a line, what they call them now. Landline
phone, yeah.
Because we didn't have no cell phone back then.
Right.
We had landlines, old phones that you just pick it up and then dial the number, and then they'll get on to you. But we went through a lot.
I think about that sometimes. Like nowadays, we have so much access to each other.
Right.
You know, you can just call them. Your husband at work.
Yeah.
Your son, you got to check out. But back then, when people left the house, they was just gone from the house.
They gone from the house.
Your kids was gone. You ain't know where it was
when
at.
the people go, they leave your neighbor to see back to children.
Oh.
Whatever your children did, the neighbors would chastise them children.
Right.
And when you come home, the neighbors told the mother and the father, and you would get another one.
I guess that's where they get the term. It takes a community to raise a child.
Exactly, and that's the way. They always say you can't raise a child by yourself.
Right. I think that's another thing that we've lost now. Like we all live in these different areas and stuff. And people can't. You can't say nothing to people's kids these days.
You can't say nothing.
The parents will come at
you. If you say something to that child now, that parents will kill you.
Right. They want even the teachers. I look at different things. The kids are so disrespectful in school, and then
they can't whoop them neither.
Yeah, I remember that. Like I think I don't know. I remember getting spanking with a ruler or something.
With a paddle. When you had a paddle.
I ain't get the paddle. They had a ruler or something.
But they had this paddle. That they would spank the kids with.
Yeah.
And you go home and then they'll let your parents know, and the parents would get on you again. So with all of them teaching you, you had enough teachers.
Right.
And you did good because you know not to do this.
Right.
Because your parents will get on.
What do you think about spankings? I know a lot of parents these days, they're like, oh, chastising kids and this and that. What are your thoughts on spankings?
Well, now.
No, don't say now. I know. I'm just saying in general.
But in general, I think that's what a child needs. Every now and then. because if you don't, they get beside themselves. But I think it did them good back in that day, because
Right.
I've been whooped with extension cords. I've been whooped with switches. Hey, so I know better,
Right.
and I know how things was supposed to go. But that's chastising a child, and that learning them not to do what you ain't supposed to be doing.
Right. Well, let me ask you. Do you think though? Because I know I got whooped before.
Yeah,
I know.
you did.
I think I shot the little boy with the BB gun. Everybody in the house whooped me that day. It was Christmas. Everybody in the house whooped me on Christmas. Because he couldn't handle getting shot by a BB gun. Oh.
That was the wrong thing. That was the wrong thing.
I didn't shoot anybody else. But do you think whooping sometimes come from our lack of ability to convey to a child verbally the level of issue that they've done, or do you think? Because sometimes I think, all right, like I know my parents. Sometimes I think I would get whooped out of frustration, out of what they were dealing with. Maybe they were tired and this that. Because you know how they say, "Oh, don't cry over spilled milk."
Yeah.
I've definitely got a whooping because I dropped a glass of milk before. But I'm like, I think it was my mom's or my dad's frustration with the day, and they're like, "I gotta clean this glass up." Because I can see it.
I wasn't around. Must be wasn't around. Yeah. You got to.
Because I can see it, but like even with my boys, like I try not to. I try not to get on them when I'm frustrated about something else. You know, fortunately, I haven't had to whoop the boys yet. For whatever reason,
that's why they say parents supposed to count to 10 before you do anything. You count to 10. You could to cool down before you let that frustration come out. Right. Then you count to 10 and then settle down and then talk to your child about it.
And I get it. They will make you want to strangle them sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
I get it.
But you can't. You have to think about it.
Sometimes I be feeling like whoopings is a rites of passage. It happened to me, it's gonna happen to you. I gotta pass it down.
No.
But you know, when you really think about it, I was having a conversation with someone one time, and I was like, we were talking about spanking and whooping in the black community, but it comes, it stems from like being a child in the slave days, and you need a child to do what you telling them to do right now. Because I'm gonna whoop you before master whoop you. Because the whooping I'm gonna give you ain't gonna be nothing compared to what they'll give you, and it'll break my heart to see them
and see them whooping you all on your back and everything.
And I think we ignore, so everybody judgmental about things a lot these days, but I think they ignore where it may have come from. Right. And it's like, the whole saying, this hurts me more than it hurts you. I believe, I think it may have come from way back there where I'm trying to whoop you and this hurts me, but I'm only doing this because I don't want them to do it. Right. And I don't want nobody else to do it. Right. So that's why I'm chastising you, so you won't do this. Right. And you'll know, okay, I don't got to whoop you for this, so I'm not going to do this right. But some will say, with education, we've come a little bit further, and we're like, oh, you don't have to whoop the kids. Like I said, I haven't had to do nothing like that to my boys yet. For whatever reason, they're deathly afraid of me. They think I will really hurt them. So when I look at them and tell them to do so, they'll just cry. I don't know how this happened. It's the look that you get. I don't know how this happened. I'm like, me, I'm goofy and funny as I don't know. I was like, I don't know how I put this fear in them. Like, but it's just the way, I guess, it's the way the parents look at them. Right. And that make them feel like, well, my daddy, might have to do this. I better. I told the boys asked me one time, they say, Daddy, why you work out so much? I say, come here. I say, so when you try me, I'm gonna knock both y'all out when y'all get on there. They're like,
oh no, now see, that's why. When you get up in their face
I say, so whenever you think you gonna try me when you get older.
No, that's why. That's why that means you
gotta scare them early.
Yeah, but don't put too much fear in.
You gotta scare them early, Grandma.
But you don't scare them too much. You scare them too much when you get in their face like that. Right. And you just don't want that because you don't want your children the hatred neither.
Yeah. But it's a happy balance. They
Yeah.
gotta, like you said last time,
right.
I ain't your friend.
I'm not your friend.
So
I'm your pal.
Right. It's like I want you to be open.
Right. I want you to be open.
Now let's talk about that. You said something in the last one, like listen to the children and all that.
Okay.
All that. But I remember growing up in the family, and a child was to be seen,
right,
and not heard. So tell me about that, because y'all would definitely be like, hey, you stay in a child's place, this and that. And
that you have to. It's just like if someone come around and that child coming in, just sit there and look at you while you talking. No, go play.
Right.
You don't be in my face when I'm talking. You go play. And because that child would get every word that you say, and they do not forget. They do not forget, and then there it goes. That child has got that in her head.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why you say a child's supposed to be in his place and not heard. Because you send a child, if someone come around, you send that child to play. That child ain't supposed to be looking in your mouth every time you open it up.
Right.
So that's what it is.
That makes sense.
That's what it is. That's why they say children is supposed to be seen and not heard.
Not heard.
Because children will pick up. The kids of this day, boy, they seem like they've been here before.
They probably have.
I mean to tell you, they seem like they've been here before. And I know that child ain't been here before.
Right.
That child was just born out of the mama's womb.
Right.
And that child seemed like to be that child know everything.
Everything, yeah.
It used to be where a child couldn't even see in 9 days?
Really? But it's because didn't they have to put stuff in our eyes or something when they was
No.
When they were born or something?
They put some little water in their eyes, but that was it. But a child couldn't even see you.
For 9 days?
For 9 days.
After they were born?
After they was born. These children born today, they see everything.
They sit it up. It used to be they could move
sit
their
up. The Bible being fulfilled.
And what it said?
That's what the Bible says.
Talk about whoopers and stuff. I remember one time, I never forget, you and your friends was outside or something, sitting down talking, and me and some other boys was outside riding on bikes.
Okay.
I didn't ride my bike, I rode Robert's bike, my brother's bike, because I liked his bike or something. And we out there just doing hook slides, and I hook slide, boom, and I blew his tire. And you like, now go put it up, because you shouldn't have been on his bike in the first place. So I'm walking to the back of the house, I never forget. I'm like, come on, get on my nerves. And Uncle Troy was back there. Uncle Troy say, what?
And he heard you say that.
Uncle Troy beat me. I'm like, then Uncle Troy came and told y'all what I said. Then y'all beat me. Then I went in the room and go to sleep. I never forget I was in the room sleep. My mama got back from work. She woke me up and she beat me. I was like, man.
Oh my God. Now, Lee, I'm telling you the truth. Now, you remember that. And Grandmama can't remember.
Grandma, I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't know. It was you and maybe two other friends sitting out in front of the house. Over there to the house. And Uncle Troy was in the back drinking. And I was taking the bike through the fence to go to the back and put it up. And you was like, don't get on yours, because you should have been on yours in the first place. And I was just cussing. I was like, get on my nerves. Uncle Troy was like, what? I was like, why are you back here, man?
No. How old you were?
No, Grandma, I had to be 8 or 7.
7 years
somewhere,
old.
I'm like about 10.
Between 7
and 9. Somewhere between 7 and 9. And I was just, I must have got beat 3 times that day. I was just like, man.
No, I don't even remember that.
Yeah. But I didn't get in trouble that much.
No, but I don't even remember that. And you do.
I remember it like it was yesterday. What's your favorite book in the Bible?
The 23rd Psalm.
23rd Psalm. You know that one by heart?
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leads me in the path of blessing. Because the name say, yea, till I walk to the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For God is with me. Thy rod, thy staff, to comfort me in the presence of my enemy. I got it on.
Now, why is that one your favorite book in the Bible? Your favorite passage in the Bible?
Why is it? Because he is my rod and my staff, and he comforts me. Right now, I live in my house by myself, but I know God is here with me. And when I talk to him, and I thank him for everything, and I know that he's with me.
Right.
And that's what it's saying, during the 23rd summer. Okay. He is my rod and my staff. And he comforts me, and he do comfort me. Because I don't have no one here.
Right.
And sometimes I don't talk to no one that day.
Right.
But I can always talk to him.